Welcome back to the Professor's Lab. I'm Professor V, and this is round one of the League tournament that happened at Die Hard Games on October 6th, 2023. If you didn't know, Die Hard League happens every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central at Die Hard Games, featuring casual and tournament play of whatever format anyone wants, really. More info in the description. League Challenge Thursday, October 12th at 6 p.m. Central at Die Hard Games, and check out Pokemon's event locator for more premier events at Die Hard Games, such as League Challenges, League Cups, and pre-releases. Please hit that like button right quick, subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications, say what you need to say in the comments, and all that other good stuff. But anyways, let's get into this game, where we have on the left, Lost Giratina, on the right, Single Strike Lugia. Lugia is going first this game. Starting things off with the best starter, Luminion, capturing Aroma, flips Tails, that item card. You flip a coin of Tails, you search your deck for a basic Pokemon. And Squawkabilly actually is going to be the target here. Ultra Ball being played. Ultra Ball discards a couple cards, and then you can search your deck for a Pokemon. I think we're going to see Lugia being found here, but no, actually the Archeops. Okay, the Archeops makes sense because Squawkabilly is going to use its Squawk and Seize ability to discard the hand this first turn. So we can get that Archeops in there. Let's see. Not capturing. Urn of Vitality being played to shuffle back up to 2 single strike energy from the discard pile back into the deck. So far so good on this turn 1 for our Lugia player here. Of course, Lugia's strategy is getting 2 Archeops into the discard pile, at least 2 of them, as soon as possible. So that way the next turn, Lugia V-Star can use its Summoning Star ability to bring them both back from the discard pile straight onto the bench, sort of cheating 2 stage 2s into play with that powerful V-Star ability. And Squawk and Seize, thanks to that Squawkabilly EX, discard your hand and draw 6 cards. Can only be used on your first turn. So we're looking for a Lugia V here, and we got a Tyranitar V, and that gets put on the bench. Capturing Aroma gets flipped, and it is heads this time, so capturing Aroma can search for a evolution Pokemon. I think I've seen an Ultra Ball and an Archeops in the hand, so either an Archeops or Lugia V-Star would be good grabs. It looks like we're going for the Archeops, so we could discard double Archeops with the Ultra Ball. One Archeops was at least discarded. I can't tell what the other card was, but that most likely is going to find the Lugia V. Let's see what else. I think that's a supporter. Hopefully there's enough follow-up in the hand for the next turn. I think there's 3 Archeops in the discard pile, but I could be wrong. So yes, hopefully there's enough follow-up in the hand for next turn to evolve into Lugia, so that way those 2 Archeops can to evolve into Lugia V-Star, so that way the Archeops can be put on the bench with its V-Star ability. Either way, gonna pass things over to Lost Giratina here. Giratina V hits the bench. The infamous League Path to the Peak comes down, shutting off those rule box Pokemon abilities. Basically, the multi-prizers. I guess Radiants are single prizers still, but they have a rule box. So all Pokemon with rule box ability gets shut down with that Path to the Peak and passes things over. So not a very strong turnover on Giratina V's side, but the Path to the Peak is strong. That, for now, shuts off Lugia V-Star, Summoning Star, V-Star ability. So we're going to need to see a counter to that Path to the Peak. Lugia V-Star evolving on the bench there. And now what? Yeah, not much in the hand. Double Turbo being attached to the active fish there and passing things over. Path to the Peak stuck here. It looks like it. Play resumes over on Lost Giratina's side, starting things off with the boss's orders stall play to bring the Tyranitar V into the active spot and a pass. Wow. And Lugia V-Star player passes their turn back over. What an interesting game here. Lost Giratina finally finds that Chorus Experiment, looking at the top 5 cards of the deck, sending 2 to the Lost Zone and keeping the remaining 3. Ooh, Chorus and Boss's Order sent to the Lost Zone, so those 3 other cards must have been very important in passing things back over to Lugia V-Star here. Lugia V-Star passes things right back over to the Giratina V player who plays a Chorus Experiment. Looking at the top 5 cards of the deck, sending 2 of them to the Lost Zone, keeping the remaining 3. Looks like Switch and Psychic Energy are sent to the Lost Zone. Either way, a Nest Ball, yeah, the most beautiful Switch being eyeballed there right now. The most beautiful Nest Ball being played here, searching the deck for a basic Pokemon and putting it onto the bench. I guess you gotta find a Comfey here, right? This is the flower selecting Comfey deck, so. Alright, Comfey hitting the bench there. And now hopefully we have a way for it to become active with a basic switch or switch cart, escape rope, something. Oh man. I wonder if there was something else the Lugia player could have did their first turn to prevent this, but maybe not. We'll just have to go back and see. Either way, if the most beautiful, another most beautiful switch played, switching Comfey into the active spot, it uses its flower selecting ability to take a look at the top 2 cards of the deck, send 1 to the Lost Zone, and keep the other. Super Rod being sent to the Lost Zone here. Psychic Energy attached to the bench, Giratina V. Switch cart being used to switch back into that Giratina V, and Giratina V uses its Abyss Seeking attack. Look at the top 4 cards of the deck and put 2 of them into your hand, put the other 2 into the Lost Zone. So here we go, slowly building up that Lost Zone again. Vitality Band being attached to Lugia V-Star on the right, and a Professor's Research being played as a supporter for turn, discarding the hand and drawing 7 new cards. We need a way to counter that Path to the Peak. Any other stadium will do. You really don't want to play Pumpkaboo down if this deck plays Pumpkaboo. You really don't want to put that down, taking up the 4th bench spot, leaving only 1 spot open for Archeops. And there we go. Oh, it's a collapsed stadium. No, that is not the stadium you want to play, but okay, we got to do what we got to do. Collapsed stadium limits both players' bench to 4, so only 1 Archeops can be brought back from the discard pile onto the bench with Lugia's Summoning Star ability. So we're going in with a single Archeops here. That single Archeops has the Primal Turbo ability, which allows it to accelerate 2 special energy cards from the deck to a Pokemon. So 2 single strike energy being accelerated onto that Tyranitar V there. Let's see, it looks like it's fully charged and ready to go. It can use its single strike crush attack to take the KO here on the Giratina V. Single strike crush, 240 base damage, discard the top 4 cards of your deck. So it comes at a cost, but you're taking the KO. The single strike energies add plus 20 damage each to the single strike crush. The double turbo energy, of course, minuses 20 damage, but still enough to take the KO on the opposing Giratina V and go up 2 prizes in this interesting Game 1 of the League Tournament. 4 cards being milled there. Pretty good one. The Iono's pretty good. Didn't see the others, but either way, we're on the Lost Zone turn here. Starting things off with Flower Selecting, Comfey, sending Cramorant to the Lost Zone there. Comfey being found, second Comfey being found and put onto the bench. Hopefully we have some more switch cards. I guess a basic energy will do to just retreat the old-fashioned way. Giratina V-Star being debated on being evolved here. I think you do always evolve it just to give it more HP. Let's see how much damage that Tyranitar is doing. I think it's doing 260 currently, so it's not enough to take the KO on the Giratina V-Star currently, but another single strike energy will do the trick. Energy being attached to the active Comfey, Comfey retreating into the second Comfey, second flower selecting of the turn coming down here. Psychic energy being sent to the Lost Zone to keep that Chorus Experiment. I think you always got to do that. 2 Psychics in the Lost Zone, not very good. Chorus Experiment being played. Let's see what 2 cards get sent to the Lost Zone. Jet Energy and Comfey. I think that's okay. The other 3 being prioritized and kept into the hand there. Yep, very nice ability use marker. I appreciate that. Snorlax, alt character art, alt art, full art, whatever you want to call it. Beautiful art Snorlax coming down onto the bench there. Mirage Gate being played. Item card, as long as there are 7 or more cards in the Lost Zone, you can search your deck for 2 different basic energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Grass energy and Psychic energy being accelerated onto that Giratina V-Star there. With that Mirage Gate, powering it up. Giratina V-Star has 2 very powerful attacks. How many cards in the Lost Zone? 5, 11. So its V-Star attack is online here. Star Requiem. Switch cart, switching into that Giratina V-Star. And I think we're going to see the powerful V-Star power attack, Star Requiem. Path to the Peak coming down, countering that collapsed stadium. And Star Requiem. You can use this attack only if you have 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone. Your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out. Big KO on the Tyranitar V there. Lumineon V being promoted into the active spot on the right, and play resumes on Lugia's side. Let's see how they can respond. They can take a one-shot with Tyranitar, however, I think it's impossible with only 1 Archeops in play. Players are assessing the board here, downloading as much information as they can to better inform their next decisions. Stonejourner, single strike, being placed onto the bench there. That would be an okay attacker here. A Lumineon V retreating into that Stonejourner. But how many single strike energy are in the discard pile and how many are in the deck? Looks like we're going into the deck with a Primal Turbo here, thanks to that Archeops. There we go, okay. Accelerating 2 single strike energy onto that Stonejourner. The Stonejourner won't be able to do enough to take the KO, but enough to put significant pressure on as a 1-prizer. And that Iono supporter coming down. Both players shuffle their hands, put it at the bottom of their deck, and then they each draw for however remaining prize cards they each have. So both players would get 4 cards in this instance. And we're looking for an energy card to attach. Cool. V-Guard Energy will do the trick to power up that Stonejourner's second attack. And let's see how much damage is coming down here. I believe it's like base 130. So 170 damage. Looks like 180, so maybe it was base 140. Alright, either way, a big swing onto that Giratina V-Star there with a 1-prizer. So this is alright. Giratina V-Star has that Lost Impact attack that does 280 damage, but you have to put 2 energy attached to your Pokemon into the Lost Zone. So very big cost to pay to knock out this little Stonejourner here. So hopefully we can take the response KO with the Snorlax. Starting things off with a Nest Ball, searching the deck for basic Pokemon. Most likely just playing it to take inventory of the deck, see what energies, what options are available. But actually going to find a Sableye with that Nest Ball. Sableye's Lost Mine attack is online now. Sableye can only use its Lost Mine attack if there are 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone. And it does, you can put 12 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like with that all-powerful attack. So that would be a good one to knock out the Stonejourner. Actually, Stonejourner might have more than 120 HP. Either way, Grass Energy being attached to the active Giratina V-Star. A second Lost Mine Sableye coming down onto the bench there to join the party. We got a full house here tonight. Boss's Orders bringing up that Lugia V-Star from the bench. That's exactly what we needed to see here. Boss's Orders, powerful Gust supporter, lets you switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with the active, and Giratina takes the big KO with Lost Impact, 280 damage onto that 280 HP Lugia V-Star, sending 2 energy cards to the Lost Zone. Stonejourner taking the place of the active Pokemon, and play resumes on Lugia's side. Nest Ball, the League Nest Ball being played to search the deck for a basic Mew EX and put it onto the bench. Mew EX, one of the new promising cards from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet set 151. It's very good. It can copy active opponents' attacks with its genome hacking attack. It has free retreat, so it's also a nice pivot that this Lugia deck appreciates. Pretty good stats all around. And we're debating on playing an Iono here. Not before Primal Turbo, Archeop's Primal Turbo, accelerating a double turbo energy card and a V-Guard energy card onto that Mew here. Uh-oh. Mew is coming back for revenge on that Giratina V-Star. And Iono is played. Both players shuffle their hand, put them at the bottom of the deck. This time Lugia player gets 4, and the lost Giratina player gets 2. Collapse Stadium being put down to counter that path to the peak. Collapse Stadium limiting each player's bench to 4, so the lost Giratina player has to decide which Pokemon to discard. Sableye discarded there. And Stonejourner actually is just going to clean up and take the KO on this Giratina V-Star. Very good. Comfey uses Flower Selecting to send a Comfey to the Lost Zone and keep the other card. I think the other card was Jet Energy. Jet Energy being put onto the bench Comfey to bring it into the active spot. It uses Flower Selecting to send another card to the Lost Zone, dig a little bit deeper into the deck. Mew EX being read there. Definitely a newer card here. Players want to make sure they know exactly what's going on to better inform their plays. Grass Energy being attached to that bench Snorlax. Thinking about maybe going in with Snorlax here. That wouldn't be so bad, but actually no, just setting up for next turn and passing things over. Actually, was there a double attached there? Because I know the Jet Energy was attached. Yeah, the Jet Energy was definitely attached, and there, there we go. That seems to be happening a lot recently in these videos. We'll see if it ends up mattering. I'm sure it's an honest mistake. Jet Energy is an interesting one because it is an energy attachment, but you mostly have it in there for its utility to bring the Pokemon into the active spot. So I'm sure just an easy, honest mistake to make. Double attaching there. We'll see if it matters or not. Most of the time, it doesn't end up mattering. But, oh yeah, also important to mention too, just as much as it's important for you to keep, or it's required for you to keep track of your own board state and your attachments and everything, it's also your opponent's responsibility to keep track of the board state, energy attachment, supporter play, and everything else too. So both of the players didn't catch it. I'm sure it's just an honest mistake, and we'll just move forward here. Player on the Lugia player's side, nothing to do but to take the KO, easy KO on the Comfey there with Stonejourner, going down to 1 prize card in this interesting first match. Comfey uses Flower Select in the active spot. Jet Energy or Super Rod being debated here. Jet Energy actually being sent to the Lost Zone. There's already a Super Rod in the Lost Zone, so maybe can't get rid of too many of those. Super Rod actually being played here. You can shuffle from your discard pile back into your deck up to 3 in any combination of basic energy / Pokemon cards. Looks like a couple Psychics and a Sableye will be shuffled back in to the deck. Okay, and we're probably going to immediately use that Mirage Gate, there we go, to accelerate a couple energy from the deck. 2 different energy from the deck to the Pokemon in any way they like. Psychic Energy is most likely going to go on the Sableye, yep, and the Grass Energy goes onto the active Comfey, so that way it can retreat. So far that extra attachment on the Snorlax isn't mattering here. Comfey retreats into Sableye, and Sableye uses Lost Mine to put 12 damage counters onto that active Stonejourner. Still not enough to take the KO on it. What an awkward situation this has been for our lost Giratina player. Stonejourner tanking that hit, that Lost Mine. And are we still going to deny prizes here? Are we even going to deny prizes here? Mew would not be a good attacker here because it can't copy Lost Mine. We don't have 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone. Stonejourner actually paying the Heavy retreat cost to go into that Mew. Boss's order is being played to bring up the Snorlax, and Mew uses genome hacking to copy Snorlax's attack that does 180 damage, more than enough to KO that 150 HP Snorlax and take the last prize of the game. Game 1 goes to our Lugia player. What a game. What do you guys think of this video and the commentary? Please let me know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Professor's Lab.